Good Tuesday late afternoon to you. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com. They represent 802 Toyota, Twin Cities Subaru, and 802 Honda, all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. Roger Hill of VELCO Weather Hazards Forecasting, Weathering Heights Consulting. We're looking at the current winds across the region. Still pretty brisk, but have shown signs of calming down, with the strongest winds now pulling into the Canadian Maritimes. And we have this one little system that's kind of working on through. It's going to stay to the south and generally to the west of us. Now, this area of low pressure pulling in drier air, and things will cool off tonight. We're looking at conditions that will support a dry day with a ton of sunshine, a little bit on the cool side tomorrow, Wednesday. That's your best project weather day coming. Taking a look at the European 6-hourly increments, you can see that system kind of washing out fairly quickly. 1023 area of higher pressure, hectopascal higher pressure system, then moves off the coast, still providing us with decent conditions. And then we get into a little bit more unsettled weather as that lead system coming east of the Great Lakes produces a warm front. Our winds will start to gust up a little bit out of the south. That'll happen on Thursday, mainly across northern Vermont. Some indicated winds as high as 35 to potentially 45 miles per hour, mainly across northern areas and especially the higher terrain. A little bit of a break in the action, but warmer weather works in on Saturday. You can see another bit of jet stream energy that's worked in, and this is going to spin up a round of severe weather, a lot of thunderstorm activity, and this is going to evolve to become the main action with some jet stream energy. So as that moves off to the east, you can see that plume of moisture line up along the east coast. And the other interesting thing to note here is it goes way down into parts of Central America. And it's unusual to see that, but that's part of these dipping jet streams and has a lot to do with the loss of Arctic sea ice and climate change. Here's our area of low pressure, however. This is Saturday. This is Friday night into Saturday. So we're looking at a pretty good soaker here, potentially some thunderstorms to the west and then to the south of us. At this point in time, it looks like it's just generally a rainfall. There won't be a whole lot in the way of sunshine. Then that little bit of an upper low off to the western part of parts of New York, western Pennsylvania, will then creep toward us. And beyond this period, it looks like we're going to see just some unsettled weather with some scattered showers. It could be a couple wet snowflakes involved, but for the most part, slightly cooler conditions work back into the region for the early part of next week. GFS ensemble, this is total QPF. You can see that a little bit of an uptick on Thursday, then we kind of dry out, and then the main event here for what's going to be falling over this weekend, especially on Saturday. Looking at the 3-hour QPF, again, this is centered on Montpelier, Vermont, the GFS ensemble. Check the 3-hourly QPF here. You can see that it's basically centered on Saturday. Now, beyond that, we're going to check 2-meter temperatures, and you can see it's associated with a pretty good warm-up. And just want to show you PWatts, precipitation, the precipitable water, the amount of moisture. This is getting up there, 1.3 inches. In terms of temperature, dew point temperatures, we might see dew point temperatures make a run into the upper 50s. And if we get any sunshine, we might have to keep an eye open for any kind of isolated thunderstorm activity associated with that as well. 850 hectopascal temperatures right there, showing well above the 0 degree centigrade line. So no snow to deal with here until sometime well into the early part of next week. Convective available potential energy. And we're also going to show precipitation type, which is really in the form of rain. Main storm track, a little hard to follow here, but it does look like it is generally out of the Gulf of Mexico, a lot of Gulf moisture, and then through parts of northern New England. Looking at weighted temperatures, this is the next 5-day maximum temperatures. How about that? Above normal for a change, and even 3 days later, we remain above normal, generally between 6 and 9 degrees. Wow. Looking at the climate reanalyzer, there's a relatively warm Arctic, although not as warm as it has been. It's warmed up across Greenland. There's definitely some colder air in the very northern part of Canada, the Canadian archipelago. It's warmed up a little bit in Alaska. So you see warming up in Alaska, sometimes that displacement comes down for a visit And you can see that we might see some of that still with these sort of roller coaster oscillation patterns. That'll do it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights Consulting. Thanks for watching.